Hi, Becca. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have you. How's your day been?
It's been wonderful. It's actually really nice out. I live in Wyoming, and so usually it's really
Oh,
cloudy and snowy still, but it's actually been like 60 degrees, so it's been a great day.
that's nice. It's really nice when we transition back into spring. I feel like I come alive again. Like, oh my goodness.
Yes, me too. I feel refreshed, genuinely.
For sure. Yeah. How old is your little one now?
He's 3 months old.
Oh, 3 months old. He's so little.
Yeah, he's still tiny. I'm still getting used to everything, but it's been finally like we've been getting a schedule and stuff, so I've been getting used to it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, 3 months is when you can finally find some consistency and routine, kind of like random chaos until then, usually. And then once you're 3 months, it's like, okay, we can consistently have nap schedules and things like that. And they usually sleep better.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And that's probably the best definition I've heard. Random chaos. That's what I'm gonna call it from
Yeah.
here on out.
I wonder if you want to start by talking to me about how you found out you were pregnant and the beginning of the whole journey. How was that?
It was wonderful. It was actually so we were trying, but it was a surprise because I was told when I was younger that I couldn't have kids. And so we were really hoping that that wasn't true, and thank goodness that it wasn't. And that was just due to my professional dancing and stuff. My hips got super screwed up, and so I was told that I wouldn't be able to bear a baby. But
Hmm.
praise God that that was not accurate because he was healthy through the entire pregnancy, and so was I. It was great.
Yay.
Um,
Yeah.
but I was working at a breast cancer facility at the time. I was just going door to door to get like foundations and stuff and fundraisers, stuff like that. And I got really nauseous while I was walking around one day and knocking on doors. And I was like, this is not normally how I feel. And so the next day I took a pregnancy test and there was a very faint line. And so throughout the week I kept taking one until I got like they were just the tiny strips. And so I got one of the bigger, like more accurate, I guess you could say, pregnancy tests, and it was for sure 2 lines. And we were just super excited to see that it happened.
Yeah, that's so exciting. How was your pregnancy like?
It was wonderful. I did have to deal with hyperemesis, so I had that for only a week. Luckily, I had to go to the hospital and get an IV drip, but after that, I was completely fine.
Wow.
I had nausea throughout the second trimester, but the third trimester, I was feeling great. I had energy for the most part until like the end of it, and then I kind of lost all of my energy.
Aw.
Um, but it was also an interesting experience because my OB care, I wasn't able to get seen as much as I thought I would be. And so I went for about 12 weeks from like my 6 week appointment until like my second trimester without being seen. Actually, I was super healthy throughout the entire time. And the doctors were like, you haven't been seen. You're doing great. And I was like, oh, that's wonderful to hear.
Yeah, that's great. It's really interesting how there can be those gaps, especially in the beginning of care. I
Yeah.
know quite a few people who, yeah, like wanted to get established and it took a long time to get established, or something like that happened where they were initially seen and then it was hard to get in for a while, so they just aren't getting care. And some moms like do okay just doing their own research and kind of figuring it out, and other moms like really struggle with that. So I'm glad that you did well and you were doing okay.
Honestly, I did well thanks to your classes and stuff because I was so nervous. I had no idea what was going on. And then you showed up on my Instagram page, like, I think 2 weeks after my first appointment. And I was like, this woman knows everything that I've been wanting to learn. And
Aw.
so it was like from the first trimester that I found you throughout that I was just like studying your page. And anytime I felt nervous about something, I'd find a video or you post a video the day of about what I was nervous about. And I was like, oh, I feel great now.
Oh, that's so nice. Thanks for sharing that with me. That's like really sweet
Yes.
feedback to have. Yeah, so
Yeah.
when did you join the online academy and take the class?
I joined the classes and started taking classes in my second trimester, but I found your page in my first trimester. And I think the first class that I saw was on natural water births. I'm pretty sure something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But it was my goal to have water birth. I didn't end up having one, but that'll be for the next time. But just hearing about like how much better it is for your body, how much more relaxing you can be in the water, things like that. And I was a swimmer, and so I was like, that's just my environment. It gave me a lot more peace about water births and stuff like that because I've heard some negatives about it that I didn't think were entirely true, but I think it was just other people's personal experiences. And so hearing somebody who's educated and has had their own experience in the water has kind of given me more peace.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it gave you evidence-based education and information on that subject, so you
Yeah.
could feel more confident if that was something you ended up doing. And
Yeah.
it sounds like you want to do that for your next birth, which is cool.
Yes.
Yeah, did the
Absolutely.
hospital not offer water birth where you are?
No, they don't.
Yeah.
And it happened so fast we wouldn't have had time anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. That happens often with water birth. If it happens quickly, you just like can't get in on time. I've been to
Yeah.
quite a few births where we were planning. I just went to a birth recently where it was 45 minutes, so we didn't even get around to filling up the tub. Like that wasn't
Yeah.
happening, you know? So
That sounds like mine.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I wonder if you want to share, maybe take me to the end of your pregnancy before you go into labor. How are you feeling? What was that experience like?
Absolutely. I was feeling nervous. So I had just gotten seen by a new OB a week before he was born, actually. So I had just met the doctor who was going to deliver him. It was kind of ironic how it all worked out, but she was a wonderful woman. And so I was feeling great. I had no issues. She said baby was super healthy. They thought he was already 6 pounds, but I've also seen your videos saying that like ultrasounds can't always tell the exact weight of a baby. And so they said he was 6 pounds in my second trimester, but he was actually born 6 pounds. So I'm glad that they didn't try to, induce me or anything. But super funny as well. We had his baby shower on January 18th, and it was kind of a super delayed baby shower because his due date was February 6th. And he actually came on January 20th. So I think he felt like he was late for his party or something. And he
Oh,
made his appearance. Yeah.
that's so sweet. Okay, so yeah, you went a little before the due date. What was it
Mhm.
like going into labor?
It was actually, I didn't really know I was in labor, and I told my fiance to go to work that morning because I was like, oh no, no, like it's nothing, I'm totally fine. But I woke up at 6:30 in the morning and I had like some stomach cramps, and I thought it was maybe just, like I had to poop or something. But I went to the bathroom and I noticed there was a little bit of blood coming out, and I was like, oh, either this is concerning or it's my mucus plug. So got to start paying attention to things. And then all of a sudden I just got these wild cramps while I was sitting on the toilet, and I was like, and I couldn't breathe very well through them or think or be on my phone. I just had to like sit and stare at the wall while I was going through it. And I was like, this seems a little bit more serious. And so I called my mom, and my mom has had 7 kids. I'm the seventh one. So
Hmm.
she's experienced in all this. And I had a full contraction with her while I was on the phone. And she's like, you need to call your OB and go to the hospital. She's like, you're transitioning. I was like, oh, okay. So I called my OB, and she was like, well, how far apart are your contractions? And I was like, they're 45 seconds long and they're like 3 minutes apart. And she goes, when can you get to the hospital? I was like, I just told my fiance to go to work, so I have to have him come back so he can take me. So maybe in 30 minutes. And she was like, yeah, get there as soon as you can. And so we got to the hospital and we walked in, and I was doing the contractions as we were walking to the doors and getting, to the where they take you in. And then it was ironic as well. My first OB that I wasn't able to get seen tonight and the new OB were both there. So I actually had both of the doctors that I'd been seen by there at the same time, and they checked out my cervix, and I was 8 centimeters dilated. And they were like, "Oh, okay, well, let's get you to a labor room. We'll get you ready."
They went to check your cervix.
And I was 8 centimeters dilated, which what they were like, "You're in go time. Like, let's get you on the bed. We're gonna get you in the labor room." It was also funny. So if anybody like who's listening to this podcast doesn't want a male nurse or anything present, they are not ashamed to leave the room if you ask them to, because there was a male student who came in, and I was in the middle of a contraction, and I feel kind of bad because obviously I'm in the middle of, a power moment. And I was like, does he have to be in here? And he was like, nope. And just straight walked out of the room. So he did that, and then I they asked me if I wanted an epidural or anything like that, and I told them no because I was planning to go completely unmedicated. They did offer laughing gas, but I was already past the point where that was going to help me.
Yeah.
So, and they were also messing with the tank because the cord just got tangled up, so they didn't even get it to me in time. Um, but I wanted to keep going on my hands and knees, and they did ask me to go on my back, but I told them that I wasn't going to, and they kept asking me if my water had broken. But obviously, I've never given birth before, so I don't know exactly what that feels like or what to expect. But I knew that I felt like I had to push, and so they're asking me all these questions, and I was just like, he's coming. And then his head came out, and my doctor wasn't even fully ready, so she had to run out real quick, put her full scrubs back on, run back in, and then she was underneath me. He came out in like not even, I'd say maybe 12 minutes of pushing. He came out.
Wow. What
Yeah,
position were
pretty
you
sure it
in?
was also like the ejection reflex,
Yeah.
potentially, but he was out, and they let me keep him attached to the umbilical cord until it was fully cleared out, and then they cut the cord, and my fiance cut the cord. And that was a fun experience for him. Yeah, and then they weighed him, and he was 6 pounds and 11 ounces and 20 inches, so he was pretty long.
Wow. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
pretty long. Wow. Yeah, what position were you in when the baby came out?
I was in hands and knees, so I guess
Cool.
like doggy style position, yeah.
Yeah.
And he just came out. He was ready. And it was so funny. He came out in less than 30 minutes, and so they called him a wet baby. And his head hadn't gotten elongated because of how quickly he came out. And so he still had amniotic fluid all up in him, poor guy.
Yeah. Did they have to do a little bit of suction to kind of get it out?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes that can happen when baby comes out so fast that they don't get like squeezed, in the way that can help
Yeah.
expel the fluid. So, wow, what a cool story.
And I only had a 1 degree tear too. So I mean, I did have to get stitches, but I think it's just because I kind of pushed pretty hard, and he just came out so fast that it was just kind of a big old rip. But it wasn't that bad, and the healing process honestly wasn't terrible.
Yeah, yeah, first degree usually isn't too bad. It's not fun to have to get some stitches. Hopefully, yeah, it wasn't a lot, and it sounds like recovery was okay. Like it didn't bother you too much. So,
And honestly, what bothered me more, like I'd say I'd easily do birth again. That was super easy. Those stitches were worse than labor, in my opinion.
yeah, totally. I've had stitches too with my first, and I felt the same way. Like I'd rather give birth. Wow, that's so amazing. How long was your labor in total?
In total, well, since I guess I noticed my first contraction at 6:30, he was born at 10:30, so 4 hours.
Wow, without any early labor, just start to finish.
Just start to finish, yeah.
You got to the hospital in transition.
And so he was already ready to come out by the time I was there. It was perfect. I didn't have to deal with many interventions. They didn't have time to do much to me. So
Yeah.
it was kind of the way I wanted it, but it played out perfectly.
Wow, that's amazing. What an amazing birth.
Yeah.
How was postpartum for you?
Postpartum was good. It was definitely a little bit of a struggle, but I feel like, it was just a baby blues or whatever they like to call the first couple of weeks. It was just, overwhelming. I was running on empty. I did not sleep at all at the hospital because I didn't want him leaving the room. And I always had that urge, like, oh no, they're going to take my baby out of the room without me. And so, I didn't sleep then. And then when we got home, luckily my fiance was able to stay home. So I had to help. And it was just basically learning him and figuring him out and him figuring me out. I chose to breastfeed, and the first couple of days were definitely a struggle because I couldn't figure out the latch. And then my mom came over and she got him latched right away, which was super helpful. And so we've been breastfeeding ever since. But that I feel like was definitely the hardest part of postpartum, was getting into breastfeeding while being so exhausted all the time and being touched all the time with sore nipples. It was a lot to deal with.
Yeah, postpartum can be for sure a lot to deal with. I'm really glad that you had the support of your mom, who could
Yeah.
come over and help with that. That like it's such a huge difference it makes to have someone who can come help.
It's such a wonderful thing to have, like people say, it takes a village, but it really does, especially when you don't know what to do about certain things and somebody else has already had the full experience, and so you can just ask for their helping hand or their advice, and they're happy to give it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Aw. Well, if you could give an expecting mom who might be listening, any advice, what would you say?
Definitely take Victoria's classes because they're super helpful and they give you a lot of peace of mind. Because if I can have an abrupt labor like that and be pretty unprepared, I feel like anybody can do it genuinely. Like it's an empowering moment, and it really it's a beautiful thing. And if you're nervous about anything, don't Google it. I promise it's gonna make things worse. Ask a genuine professional for advice.
That's such good advice. That would save a lot of moms a lot of anguish.
so much stress. You're already stressed out and your body is already overwhelmed. Don't make it worse for yourself. You don't need that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Aw, well, thank you so much for sharing your story. That was a beautiful birth story. Is there anything
Thank
else
you so
that,
much for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity.
yeah, oh, yeah, totally. You were so nice. Like the text that you sent me was so nice. I was like, oh, thank you. Thank
I just mean it. I mean, shoot, you're really helping out a lot of people. And I mean, if I feel this helped out, like, I can even imagine what other people feel. And so I feel like, just spread the word the way that you have been and continue to help the people you have been because it's amazing. It's really amazing work. And you
Aw,
deserve to feel like you're actually helping. You know what I mean? Like you deserve to hear it.
aw, I have chills all over my whole body. Aw, thank you so much. That means a lot to me.
Of course.
It's really fun work. It's really special. Yeah, my two of my moms had their babies yesterday, which was very, very cool. Yeah, one in the morning and one in the evening. One mom had her birth, it was 22 minutes when she got to the hospital before the
Oh my
baby
goodness.
came out. Yeah, yeah.
The back your record or something.
I know. Yeah, it's pretty fast. Yay. Okay, Becca. Well, I think that's everything. This was like a really short and sweet and beautiful story. I'm excited for moms to hear. I think it'll be inspiring. A lot of moms think like the first birth automatically means it's going to be really long, really hard, and
Yeah.
really painful. And you had said like that was easy. Is that what you said? Like I would do that
Yeah.
again.
I would easily do that again. It was so like it was unexpected. And I think because like how our brains can overthink to like cause distress sometimes. I feel like if we have too much time to think about how the labor is going to be while we're in it, it can freak people out. And so I didn't have time to get freaked out. My body was just like, we're ready, we're going. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just, like you say in most of your videos, trust your body and be patient with yourself and just try to stay in a peaceful mindset. And that's what I did.
Yeah. Yeah. And it worked. It worked really well for you. Yeah. Do you feel like it was it painful or was it just like intense? Or
The
both?
tearing, I remember the tearing,
Hmm.
and that part was painful, but it honestly just felt like a very sharp pinching feeling, if I could explain it to somebody. Overall, like the pushing wasn't painful, the contractions weren't painful. It's just like something you have to focus on and kind of like the way I explained it to one of my friends is they're very strong diarrhea cramps. That's what it kind of feels like.
That's a good description.
So, I mean, if you can put up with being constipated every now and then, and obviously during pregnancy, that happens to quite a bit of women. If you can put up with that, then birth and labor should be easy.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, it's so different for everyone. My first was pain-free. I also tore and same. Like I felt it was just kind of like I felt the burning, like a ring of fire kind of, and then I felt some like kind of sharp pinching feeling, but I didn't feel much because of all the endorphins.
Yeah.
But with my third and second, I didn't have any tearing or pain during pushing, but contractions were painful. So, it's funny, like, yeah, every birth is just so different.
Yeah, and I'm so excited for my next one. Obviously, it's not going to happen anytime soon, but in the next couple years, I look forward to how the next labor is going to go because I have a feeling it's going to be a lot different.
Oh, yeah, that's really exciting. Yeah, my first was 5 hours, but I had more early labor, and my second was 2 hours. And that's
Wow.
often how it goes. The second is a little faster, but anything can happen. I think it's good to prepare for a long birth emotionally. I would say maybe prepare for both. Prepare for long, prepare for short, however it unfolds.
Yes, I mean, I think it's better to prepare for long because if it's short, then you were already prepared for the long run, so it's already over with and you're ready to go now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. Well, how many kids do you want?
Our goal is three, well, minimum three, and then five maximum.
Yeah, yeah, that's so
Yeah.
special. Yeah, I have three and it feels really perfect for us.
Three is actually my favorite number, so we'll see.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah, I love that. Oh, well, thank you so much, Becca, for everything. It was really great to get to meet you. I'm so glad that you had a good birth and so glad that I was able to support you with the class. Like, that means so much to me that you took the time to write that text and to come on the podcast and share your story.
No, absolutely, and truly, thank you for having me on here. I like I said, I love your videos and I love your classes, and it's just an honor to be able to talk to you in person and be on your podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. You're so sweet.